Um, I have a vision right now of something that is going to financially sustain me, and that is going to help me reach a much more larger audience. What I see is a temple with many people in it, similar to like a stadium, but not particularly a stadium, like a room, a room, a very large room with people around, people sat around, and me, similar to doing like a church service, but not particularly a church or worship, but healing, words of healing, in exclusion and exclusion, in exclusion, did I say in exclusion and inclusion of God and faith, but not particularly religiously so, like as to, God, I can choose to say God, but anyways, that is what I see. How to get there, I don't know. I know that it's there. I just don't know how to get there. I know that it will financially sustain my life. Technically, it's the dream. The other day I was having a conversation with my girl, and she said to me, we were having a random conversation, and we were talking about what's the purpose of our relationship, right? And she just randomly said out of nowhere, Temple of the Lord. She said to build, because she was tired. So in her own words, she says that she was tired. She says that she was tired, and that she doesn't want to think. She's talking in her sleep, and so we're busy just talking in our sleep. And I don't know, I randomly asked her, what's the purpose of our relationship? And she said to me, to build. And so I asked her, to build what? She said, Temple of the Lord. Bro, I laughed, bro. I burst out in tears just laughing. Because to me, I was just like, Temple of the Lord. No one has ever told me that. What's the purpose of that, But she said, I was just guessing. Not like I was thinking about it. I'm just guessing. It just came out. But a part of me couldn't stop thinking that maybe she's just being correct. So that we can build a temple of the Lord. A place where people can come for healing. Exactly that. Those words, a place. A sanctuary. A location. A remote location where people can come for healing. That is the vision. I did a live last night on TikTok, and it went so well. And it just inspired that. But right now, I just don't know how I am going to get there. Especially, I'm just thinking a lot right now, especially sustaining myself financially from already what I am starting so small while working towards that vision. I don't know if you understand that, but I am working towards that vision by posting every single day on TikTok and on Instagram. Now, what really concerns me the most is that, is this going to be a physical location, right? And so if it is a physical location, that means that it is going to limit me financially, and I don't want to be limited. I don't want to be limited. I want to I don't want to have a cap to how much I can make. I want as many people to access it as possible throughout the world, but at the same time, I also grow financially so that I can, grow and prosper, and to be able to do the work that just like is meaningful to me. But then I'm starting to realize, okay, then it has to be digital, it has to be virtual. But when I think about that, then I might have to save my recordings, my live recordings, so that people can access. Like the digital aspect of like monetizing it is just like so simple. The true fulfilling the vision and what I see, it is the utmost certain one, because I don't know what are the small things I have to do right now to work towards that. Is it just like being consistent with those lives and seeing where it takes me and how we can start from there, having a small physical location. And I used to study some brands like Serving the People, brands like Build Space as well. So they used to have people all over the world come in, go to San Francisco, and they would spend around, I think, 8 weeks just building the projects. People from San Francisco, they would fly to, people from all over the world, they would fly to San Francisco to build their ideas and bring them to life, and thousands of people. And if I am set to create something like that, they started also digitally. And so therefore I can also start digitally. Virtually, I can also start doing that. That's the small step. That's me starting now, of course, yeah. I should go back and study what Build Space did, because I knew that they started first on Discord, and then they did whatever events that they were doing. It was called Nights and Weekends, and they did it on Discord. And then it grew into something big, bro. They had like a huge mega space, like a factory, like a warehouse with thousands of people there from all over the world. But they started on Discord. Now my mind is, I can start like as easy as on Discord or Telegram, but I want to monetize that. I want to monetize it, that as many people can get access to it. Like, it's free. Yes, I want it to be free, but I want access to certain things to be paid. The reason why I want it to be free is because Build Space started their own community for free. It builds community. It builds community. It builds community. Because I don't have to go from where I am now and immediately just, start having a mega space with thousands of people in it. I have to start small. And now starting small, it just kind of makes me overthink again. Like, how is that going to even happen? I know it's so easy to understand, start small, but how are we going to go about that? Starting small doesn't really make any sense for now. I hope it does in the future. Tomorrow I'm going to study Build Space and see how they did it, and I'm gonna revive it, but in my own way. Since Build Space is dead now, but I hope to be someone who builds and creates something just like it, without also falling away from content. I love content. And another thing about content is that it is the only thing I love, and it is me creating something like that temple, right? That temple of healing is me doing that, just like, me deviating away from content, because I'm kind of like thinking about Kai, where like he wanted to do what he loves. Now it just happens not to be content, it just happens to be clothing, right? And I mean, two different things, but it's like creating, but two different things. I don't also want to find myself just doing content alone, but I know that it is something I really love, but then I want to create the vision. The content will help me create the vision, but like reach alone doesn't help create the vision. It only helps in making the vision possible. It doesn't help, it doesn't create the vision, it only makes it possible. That is having the fan base, that is having the reach, right? But it doesn't create the vision. What can create the vision? The person who can create the vision, it is I. Do I have to create the vision now? Or do I have to spend years focusing on reach, which is content and what I love, and mastering that craft? And by the time I want to retire from content, by the time I want to focus on something, that is when I build it. You see, that is what gets me confused. Maybe right now I am confused at the fact that maybe truly it isn't just about content, right? It is about creating the vision and building the vision. I think that is the thing I have to do, and I'm set out to do. Like creating my own church, Temple of the Lord. I've never in my life thought that would be me. But I'm not creating a temple of worship. I'm creating a place for healing, which yes, kind of makes it, very different. Two different things. But I mean, just for context, saying Temple of the Lord and the church, it kind of shows what the vision is. I really love it. I won't lie. Like I love it. I like it. I like where this thing is going. Maybe I am really set out to create this. I don't know, because I feel it in my heart. Like I really feel something that resonates with that. When I think about it, when I think about my God's words when she said Temple of the Lord, it kind of feels like a campus just immediately points to the north. Or like a magnet, how a magnet just like pulls something, and how steel is just like so closely, so attracted to magnet, aggressively attracted to it, like with so much intensity when the magnet is closer to it. And I feel like the vision is just like so closer to me that I feel like a steel, a metal, and I'm attracted to this, right? Like my heart is like pulling towards it. I feel like that is just like the resonant part. I think that is what has to be created. It is not fame that I have to create. It is not writing words or making videos for exposure. It is to create exposure so that exposure can allow me to create the temple. So all of this is for me to build the temple. I just don't know how. As I'm talking about this, it's starting to make a bit more sense. But yeah.